not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I want the peace of God. To say these words is nothing, but to mean these words is everything. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. The peace of God is everything I want. The peace of God is my one goal. The aim of all my living here, the end I seek. My purpose and my function and my life. While I abide where I am, not at home. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. To say these words is nothing, but to mean these words is everything. To say these words is nothing, but to mean these words is everything. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. The peace of God is everything I want. The peace of God is my one goal. The aim of all my living here, the end I see. The aim of all my living here, the end I seek. My purpose and my function and my life. While I abide where I am, not at home. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today and studying A Course in Miracles. To me, this is the universal world religion. This idea that I want the peace of God. That's what we all want, regardless of what form. You know, it's not the Course in Miracles that we're studying. It's A Course in Miracles, because there's many ways to God. I guess you could say there's how many people on this planet? 8 billion? 8 billion ways to God. But they're all going to find it in this one way. When they can truly say, I want the peace of God. To say these words is nothing, but to mean these words is everything. That was from our lesson 185. And then 183. But 185 says, I want the peace of God. Our lesson reviewed today. I want the peace of God. The peace of God is everything I want. The peace of God is my one goal. The aim of all my living here. The end I seek. My purpose and my function and my life. While I abide where I am not at home. So when we abide where we're not at home, you know, we're eternal. A body can't contain us. but we think it can, and so we think we're at a place where we're not at home. Well, while we're here, we can find home by finding that peace. Let that be our universal religion. Let that be our focus every moment of every day, that every breath be a peaceful breath. I want the peace of God. And of course, we'll keep that whole idea sandwiched into the idea that he's wanting us to remember throughout these 20 days, which he wants us to remember always. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. That's why we have the right to peace. And remember, peace is attained by union. You can't get peace by avoiding the people that make you unpeaceful, or that tend to. We just need to learn ways to forgive, ways to let go of what is not real, so that the peace that is real can fill our cup to overflow and we can bless the world. Okay, well, that's our lesson for today. It's our review of our sixth review, lesson 205, here on Tuesday, July the 23rd of 2024. And I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks. Let's, since we've kind of sang and looked at our lesson and kind of got an idea about the universal experience, you might say. It can be put into any kind of context, whether it's Islamic, Christian, Buddhist, you name it, Native American, Hindu. It's, I want the peace of God. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. We can all say that too. Okay, let's go take a look at our text reading. And we are in the message of the holy relationship, which is section 1 of chapter 22. Chapter 22, salvation and the holy relationship. And we left off, we read paragraph 4, so we'll pick up there in just a minute. While you're turning there, let's take a look at what's going on around the world. It's the Feast of Tammuz Day, which is a Jewish holiday, and it celebrates when the Romans broke through the walls of Jerusalem and then subsequently tore down the temple in 70 AD or CE, current era. Fast of Tammuz. I think T-A-M-M-U-Z, is that Tammuz or Tammuz? Anyway, and I think it begins a 3-week kind of commemoration. Probably because, imagine it was a 3-week assault on the second temple. Gorgeous Grandma Day. Okay, Gorgeous Grandma Day. I just got to thinking, you know what? I want to read to you a little bit out of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. It talking about wives and women. It could be talking about men because it's applicable to either of us. And it says, let not your adorning be the outer adorning of the plaiting of hair and the wearing of gold and the putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden person of the heart, in which there is no corruption, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God a great price. So the inner person of the heart, that's what makes that. Hopefully by the time you get to be a grandma or a grandpa, and maybe even a young person, you start realizing, wow, beauty is more than outer. I'm not a body, I am free, for I'm still as God created me. That inner beauty that can't ever fade. Gorgeous Grandma Day. Hot enough for you day. Sprinkle Day, those little sprinkles you put over cakes and stuff. That's what that is. I thought it was something like, it's like a sprinkler, like get out in the sprinkler because it's a hot enough for you day. Mosquito Day. Do you know those are in the family of the Culicae? There's 110 genera, 3,500 different species of mosquitoes, and they're all on all continents, even Antarctica. Vanilla Ice Cream Day, Peanut Butter and Chocolate Day, World Sjogren's Day, which is an autoimmune disease that damages the moisture-producing glands of the body. And yada, yada, yada day. You know, when you yada, 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 or blah, blah, blah. The colloquialism of, just repeat. And then out of edible landscaping, there's we've got our next herb that they've got here listed is spearmint, which is, it's in the Mentha genera, and spicata is spearmint. And peppermint is a spicata crossed with a aquatica, which is water mint. Thought that was kind of interesting. So spearmint, and there's lots of different mints, and a lot of them are maybe different genuses and also different crosses of genuses. And then there's probably several cultivars within in many of the genuses or in the species. A very usable perennial in the garden or in planting near the kitchen. Fresh leaves blended, strained, sweetened, and iced. Is there a better drink on a hot summer day? And now that's some peppermint lemonade or spearmint lemonade. As all mints, the plant must be kept in bounds. It'll tend to expand, which is that's good actually. The bloom attracts many butterflies and bees. Space 5-foot circles or smaller. Zones 4 through 10. That's another one that's about anywhere in North America or South America. You can grow your spearmint. Okay, now let's say our lesson once again. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I want the peace of God. The peace of God is everything I want. The peace of God is my one goal. The aim of all my living here, the end I seek, my purpose and my function and my life. Is it your purpose and your function and your life to be at peace with every breath? My purpose and my function and my life, while I abide where I am not at home. As long as you believe you're here, you might as well bring peace with you. Because out of the deep power of peace comes your joy and your extension of love, your invulnerability. The message of the holy relationship, and let's just go ahead and pick up in paragraph 4. What could be secret from God's will? Yet you believe that you have secrets. What could your secrets be except another will that is your own apart from God's? Reason would tell you that this is no secret that need be hidden as a sin, but a mistake indeed. Let not your fear of sin protect it from correction, for the attraction of guilt is only fear. Here is the one emotion that you made, whatever it may seem to be. This is the emotion of secrecy, of private thoughts, and of the body. This is the one emotion that opposes love and always leads to sight of differences and loss of sameness. Here is the one emotion that keeps you blind, dependent on the self you think you made to lead you through the world it made for you. Your sight was, paragraph 5, your sight was given you along with everything that you can understand. Your sight was given you along with everything that you can understand. You will perceive no difficulty in understanding what this vision tells you, for everyone sees only what he thinks he is, and what your sight would show you, you will understand because it is the truth. Only your vision can convey to you what you can see. It reaches you directly, without a need to be interpreted to you. What needs interpretation must be alien, nor will it ever be made understandable by an interpreter you cannot understand. 6. Of all the messages you have received and failed to understand, this course alone is open to your understanding and can be understood. This is your language. You do not understand it yet, only because your whole communication is like a baby's. The sounds a baby makes and what he hears are highly unreliable, meaning different things to him at different times. Neither the sounds he hears nor sights he sees are stable yet. But what he hears and does not understand will be his native tongue, through which he will communicate with those around him, and they with him. And the strange shifting ones he sees about him will become to him his comforters, and he will recognize his home and see them there with him. 7. So in each holy relationship is the ability to communicate instead of separate, reborn. Yet a holy relationship so recently reborn itself from an unholy relationship, and yet more ancient than the old illusion it has replaced, is like a baby now in its rebirth. Still in this infant is your vision returned to you, and he will speak the language you can understand. He is not nurtured by the something else you thought was you. He was not given there, nor was received by anything except yourself. For no two brothers can unite except through Christ, whose vision sees them one. The vision of Christ, where we're all one. Think what is given you, my holy brother. This child will teach you what you do not understand and make it plain. He's talking about the Christ in you as that is your true self, the child, the innocent one. Think what is given you, my holy brother. This child will teach you what you do not understand and make it plain. For his will be no alien tongue. For his will be no alien tongue. He will need no interpreter to you, for it was you who taught him what he knows because you knew it. He could not come to anyone but you, never to something else. Where Christ has entered, no one is alone, for never could he find a home in separate ones. Yet must he be reborn into his ancient home, so seeming new and yet as old as he, a tiny newcomer, dependent on the holiness of your relationship to let him live. Paragraph 9. Be certain God did not entrust his Son to the unworthy. Nothing but what is part of him is worthy of being joined, nor is it possible that anything not part of him can join. Communication must have been restored to those who join, for this they could not do through bodies. What then has joined them? Reason will tell you that they must have seen each other through a vision not of the body, and communicated in a language the body does not speak. Nor could it be a fearful sight or sound that drew them gently into one. Rather, in each the other saw a perfect shelter, where his self could be reborn in safety and in peace. Such did his reason tell him. Such he believed because it was the truth. 10. Here is the first direct perception that you can make. Here's the first direct perception that you can make. You make it through awareness older than perception, and yet reborn in just an instant. For what is time to what was always so? Think what that instant brought. The recognition that the something else you thought was you is an illusion. That's why we want to take those two longer practice periods so that we can get this direct perception that's older than time itself, older than perception. It might start off as a perception, but it'll slowly merge into what you'll realize is your reality. For what is time to what was always so? Think what that instant brought. The recognition that the something else you thought was you is an illusion. And truth came instantly to show you where yourself must be. It is denial of illusions that calls on truth. For to deny illusions is to recognize that fear is meaningless. Into the holy home where fear is powerless, Love enters thankfully, grateful that it is one with you who joined to let it enter. And I might also mention, we got one more paragraph, but before I read it, I might also mention that not only do you want to take those longer periods, so I said 5 minutes, I think 15 minutes is what he wants us to take at this point in our studies. So if you've started at lesson 1 and you've made it here to lesson 205, you should be spending at least 15 minutes morning and evening sitting in the quiet and telling yourself, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. The peace of God is all I want. I want the peace of God. The peace of God is everything I want. Let that kind of settle into you. And then be sure throughout the day to bring it alive again every hour of the day. He says the top of the hour. Be nice if you were part of a community where you all just did that every hour. I would invite a community to begin and do that very thing. Maybe all over the world, right here at my place, here at your place. If you have interest in doing that, be sure to send me an email. My email's in the description below. Every hour of the day, try to bring this concept to mind that I want the peace of God. And then give God thanks for something, and then ask Him for guidance for the hour yet to come. And then again in the next hour, do it again. And close your day with 15 minutes or more. In the last paragraph, 11, Christ comes to what is like Himself, the same, not different, for He is always drawn into Himself. What is as like Him as a holy relationship? And what draws you and your brother together draws him to you. Here are His sweetness and His gentle innocence protected from attack. And here can he return in confidence, for faith in another is always faith in Him. You are indeed correct in looking on your brother as his chosen home, for here you will with him and with his Father. This is your Father's will for you, and yours with His. And who is drawn to Christ is drawn to God as surely as both are drawn to every holy relationship, the home prepared for them as earth is turned to heaven. Okay, well, and before we close with our song, I realize I'm sitting right here by a little spearmint. I thought I'd pick a little bit. I like that idea of putting it in a blender or make tea out of it, but you put it in a blender and add a little sweetener and then strain it. That's it. You're getting raw nutrients that way, which is highly beneficial. The word for peace we're going to take out of the Croatian language, and umura is in peace, umura. So let's be in peace. And actually, there's another word in front of it, pakavaj, umura. Pakavaj is rest. So rest in peace, pakamaj, umura. But we'll just use umura. And of course, mir is a common word in those languages, those Russian, Baltic type languages, mir. But umira is our word for today, in peace, out of Croatian. Let's see, what else is there? It seems like there's something else I wanted to say. Let's do the best we can at doing our meditation today. 15 minutes as soon as you get up and before you go to bed, and every hour of the day. Bring them remembrance of what we're getting ready to sing about. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. To say these words is nothing, but to mean these words is everything. I want the peace of of God. The peace of God is everything I want. The peace of God is my one goal. The aim of all my living here, the end I seek. Or you might say, the aim of all my searching here, the only goal I seek. The aim of all my living here, the end I seek. My purpose and my function and my life, while I abide where I am not at home. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. To say these words is nothing, but to mean these words is everything. I want the peace of God. The peace of God is everything I want. The peace of God is my one goal. The aim of all my living here, the end I seek. My purpose and my function and my life, while I abide where I am not at home. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I want the peace of God. Well, thank you again for joining me. I don't know if I even told you I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, if you're just newly joining me. A little peppermint. We'll just, I said peppermint. It's actually spearmint. It's the smell of it is healing. Out of the Croatian language, umira, for peace. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I want the peace of God. Umira.